so sorry. Okay. Um, what did you like about Dark and Deep?
I wanted to take a minute, have Atreyu in my lap. You guys know who Atreyu is? This is my old man plug. Today's his birthday. He's 9 years old. He's my baby. Thought we could all tell him happy birthday. But he's 9 years old today, and I've had him for years. And he's such a sweet baby. He's a turd most of the time, too. Hi, my name is Kilanaann, and today we'll be talking about Dark and Deep. I don't know why I thought this game was called Dark and Deeper, and the sound is really loud for it. Alright, I'm actually pretty excited to play this game. I haven't seen anything of it other than, when you start the game, it does have, like, a little, like, disclaimer from, like, the indie developers, so that's kinda cool, but I'm super excited to play. Okay, interesting. Part 1. Hints in story mode. Dark and Deep has optional hint system in story mode for reduced. Okay, I did turn story mode on. Press H or up at any time during gameplay. Alright, cool. Cool. They proceed from evil to evil, and they do not know me, declares the Lord. Jeremiah 9:3. So what I thought about the premise of Dark and Deep, for me personally, is in the beginning when you first start the tutorial stage where it teaches you everything, that starts out well and it starts to give you bits of the story and a little bit about your character, and that works out really well. Sounds like it's raining.
Dear listener, after all the watching, all the waiting, all the dead ends, dead air, and death threats, finally, they emerge from the shadows. We broke the story wide open. Plans and plots to construct a
Okay.
mind control
This is not
machine
normal. Hey, that's
capable of
motherboard, and that's
imprisoning a
RAM.
person
Very big RAM
in a
chips.
dark
Very old.
terrorscape of torture, all happening in your backyard.
Are we working on a computer?
We have the documents. The shadowy government contractors hiding in plain sight. An informant from deep inside the belly of
Oh,
the
so you can
beast.
zoom in. Okay.
The trail has seemed cold for some
That is a
time, but
big
today
hidden scene. Are we not going to
everything
comment on the body
changed.
in the van?
Coming up, dark and deep. A killer on the run. Who is the mysterious driver of the black panel van
Type
racing away
5,
from the violent
house,
scene earlier today?
site 1. Oh. It wiggled.
Entering this epic story. Who is Samuel Judge?
Interesting. Oh, we can look around. Yeah. Hello, goth lady with white hair. We already like you. You're falling out of this van very slowly. Much more slowly than the body did. But from the title, I was half expecting us to be like in this dystopian world underwater because dark and deep, but Walter Woods. With help from people beyond the grave, or from beyond the grave. That's encouraging, I guess. Am I gonna get haunted after this? From 19th century master artist Gustave Doré. Probably butchered that. Forgive me. Part 1. It's interesting that it shows you all the parts at the start menu when you hit play. But I guess that's kind of cool too. I guess if you go back and replay, you can just choose which part you want to do. Dark and Deep is Walter's own solo developed game. Walter wanted to create something only an indie dev could make. A conspiracy podcast drags you into a hauntingly illustrated world of mystery and terror. Reveal secrets and horrors with mystical frames given to you by a strange observer. Dark and Deep is a first-person cosmic horror game with a focus on puzzles and exploration. Hold to view new messages indicated by the glowing glow. Never turn my back on you before. Sadly, things are different now. I like the graphics within the game. Those are pretty interesting and I think well done, fine tuned. I think the platforming works fairly well for the game itself. There were like maybe a couple of tiny things where you hit like a little bit of an invisible barrier and then you get pushed into the lake and that's it for you. Other than that, the platforming was done very well. And then the story near the beginning was a bit intriguing. So those were a couple of things that I liked. And then I guess their iteration of like an inventory system where you could put like the embers and the frames, that was interesting and intriguing. I had high hopes for it going into it because of the initial like loading screen and like when you see the game on Steam and how it looks. And then I got into it and I was like, okay, this is kind of cool how it teaches you like, the different movements and actions you can take and whatnot. And that was kind of cool. But for me, I felt the story gets a little lost in what you're trying to do. A few things that I didn't like about Dark and Deep would be I was having a couple of issues with the controls. It could be because I was on controller and maybe that just needs some fine tuning. But there were some areas where even though it would say that the character could grab something, the character would not grab it when I was hitting the button for the character to do that interaction. And then there appeared to be maybe one or two like invisible little walls that the character would collide with, and that could kind of push you off course. I fell a lot in this game, but those were the things that kind of irked me a little bit the most. Other than maybe getting stuck and not having like a clear indication of where I needed to go. But the further you go into chapter one and even into chapter two, I feel like it loses that a little bit. It doesn't exactly give you what the end goal would be, like what is the purpose of this mysterious girl that you're searching for or interacting with when you're going through these worlds that you're interacting with. Based on what I recently played, I would give it a 6. I think it is in the iteration that I've played. It's a good game and it's got a lot going on. Um, but I think for me, a little bit gets lost in terms of like what the main story is and what your end goal is, versus like what your character's doing in the world. I would play Dark and Deep again. I think I haven't played enough of it to fully understand the vision that's going into this game. So I'd definitely give it another chance and play further into the chapters and learn more about the story and learn more about the character and what's actually going on. Nope. He can't jump. Oh my god. Oh man. Yeah, that's Dark and Deep as far as I've gotten into the story, everybody. Ugh. Stretch real quick. Oh, this yawn. I do appreciate you guys hanging out with me today. It has been very interesting playing this game. Not what I was expecting at all. Definitely not what I was expecting at all. It started off very interesting, and now I'm just kind of lost on where the story is taking us. But maybe if I played a little bit more, I'll understand a little bit better.